Basics e-training. This is the third of 3 e-training sessions covering the key elements of the EcoSchools programme, with the aim of giving you guidance and confidence to run this scheme in your school. This is the final presentation of 3, and we'll be covering how the central processes are shared with the whole school and the wider community. So that's about looking at the linking to the curriculum, informing and involving, and the Eco Code. Now, this is a live presentation, so if you are viewing live, then do feel free to ask questions in the column on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching this at a later date, then on YouTube, then do feel free to ask, leave any questions in the comment box below. And at the end, I'll also be giving you information on an email address that you can send through and have questions answered that way. The model for EcoSchools is the same globally, and it's based around a 7-step methodology. The most important aspect being the Eco Committee. They will need to play a pivotal role in deciding what actions are to take and measure if they've been successful. This presentation will focus on ways to ensure others outside of the committee are aware and have the opportunity to be involved. This occurs through the Eco Code, which the committee will play a role in choosing, and by sharing developments through informing and involving. Importantly, aspects of the school of EcoSchools should occur within the curriculum as well. We'll look at the key criteria of each of these elements and share examples of good practice and innovative ideas. It's important to remember, however, that the criteria are not just pass-fail factor for green flag assessments, but it's also there to provide you a structure to make the scheme manageable in your school in the long term. So when linking to the curriculum, the key criteria are that aspects of this work should be taking place in the curriculum. It should involve more than one class. It's important to know why we're looking at this, and the answer is that it's all to do with something that the schools in Wales will be doing already, and that is working with ESCGC. So education for sustainable development and global citizenship is something all schools should be highlighting already. Now, if you compare the ESCGC themes with the EcoSchools themes, you can see that there's quite a strong sort of correlation between the topics, and they'll cover multiple aspects. So health has a close relationship with healthy living, but can also cover aspects in terms of transport, consumption and waste. It can be covered with aspects of global citizenship and what have you. So they align quite closely with the themes of ESGC, and it can be a useful tool for promoting these activities, which are sometimes taken for granted. EcoSchools is a bit like an environmental review for your schemes of work. Here are some examples of curriculum work that have been linked to the EcoSchools action plan targets. So this school investigated saving water in their canteen. This was part of a wider water awareness project, but it also linked into maths work in terms of thinking about measuring the actual outcome of what they were hoping to achieve. And it had links then to thinking back to why do we need to save water when it rains so much in Wales, which has implications for global citizenship. This Food Miles project was done as part of the school's geography project, raising awareness and our dependence on other parts of the world for resources. It also sort of highlights sort of opportunities for looking at labels, although more and more so it becomes more challenging as lots more items are marked as packaged in the UK rather than necessarily giving their place of origin. So it does occasionally require a bit more investigative work on the internet to find out the details. However, that is out there. Projects like this are a good entry point for the science behind carbon footprints, which for younger children can be a bit of an abstract concept. Activities performed by the committee should not be kept a secret. Their work should be celebrated to help raise awareness and generate more positivity about eco issues. So for informing and involving, the key criteria that we would look out for are that it should show what the school has achieved, ensure that that information has been shared so the whole school knows what awards and what status the school is at. It should allow parents and the wider community to learn and participate as well. Notice boards are often the first point by which information can be shared. There used to be a key criteria, but with modern technology moving on to a point whereby there are lots of other ways of communicating that information, which we'll come to later. But very often it'll be a good point, very commonly found in primary schools, where information such as who's on the eco committee is displayed, upcoming events, recent successes, minutes of meetings, and maybe a copy of the action plan. The notice board can be an important sort of key place for people to find information about what the eco committee has been doing. Information sheets, such as this one, publicising the low food miles on the produce in the school's canteen, can be useful. In this case, it was displayed in the school's canteen, but such information could be sort of sent home to parents, who could then find out, and this could help raise awareness of the availability of low carbon footprint products in their area. Assemblies are a good place to share information and ideas. Here the pupils are learning to speak in front of their peers, which is a very important social skill, first step towards public speaking in many cases, as well as having the opportunity to make their own t-shirts to raise awareness of the environmental issues that they've been studying. Nowadays, social media is playing an increasing role. A growing number of schools, for example, have a Twitter account, which helps ensure better communication in some cases with parents, as well as the environmental benefits of saving paper. EcoSchools Wales has a Twitter account, which can then be used. We will often retweet sort of anything we find done by schools. So it goes to show that by using social media or a school website, you're not just communicating with people within the school, but potentially really onto hundreds of people, if not thousands, on a global basis. Things like YouTube have been used by schools, and one example is Cowbridge Comprehensive with their Don't Be a Waster, Be a Saver video, which I highly recommend that you do check out. It was a video produced in the school to highlight the practices that they were doing about the school, but it also had a very important message that it has to be enjoyable and get everybody participating to try and make sure that the message is spread around. I will be putting an annotation on this webinar once it's up on YouTube, so that you'll just have to click on that to take you through to this video. When taking EcoSchools outside of the school gates and trying to reach that wider community, there are outside agencies that can help you on projects as well. Keep Wales Tidy itself can help with things like Be Tidy Month, where we work with schools to help them organise community litter picks or beach cleans, depending on sort of what the school is able, what's near and local to the school. For waste minimisation, there's European Waste Reduction Week that you can work towards in November. Also, most local authorities will have a waste education officer who can, and there's some authorities that have opportunities for school visits and so forth. For regards energy, Earth Hour is a popular project to work towards, where I'm looking to save energy both within the school and at home. Welsh Water provide a large number of resources and education centres that can be visited that will support the water topics and even sort of help advise schools on sort of saving and not wasting water. Regards healthy living, I think most schools are signed up to the Healthy School Scheme, which evidence from there can contribute. If it's linked, if there's an associated action plan target in the Eco-Schools action plan, then Healthy Schools evidence can be used to complement and possibly incorporate work that's happened with another group of pupils, where maybe it's the school council that's run the Healthy School Scheme. There can be some cross council work to generate evidence. As well as transport, Sustrans help schools with working out sort of routes to schools and helping out to identify other ways to travel actively. With regards to global citizenship, a lot of schools have worked towards fair trade status, and there's also the Size of Wales charity, the Rainforest charity, which will come and help work with schools to raise awareness of issues there. And finally, when looking to work in the school grounds, again, there will be support from people within the local communities and particularly the local authority. But for a wider national project, then the RSPB Big School Birdwatch takes place in the start of the year, January, February time, and there's resources to support that can be downloaded off their website. The Eco Code is one particular tool for promoting your goals in the school. It's kind of like the motto, the eco motto for the school. It's important that it's a representation of the school's aims, that pupils play a role in its in devising it, that it's reviewed annually and not necessarily renewed, but it is important that it has been looked over by the pupils. There are schools who have devised an eco code and held on to it for several years. Provided the children are maintained to be happy with that, then that is fine. But we do encourage that it is reviewed, possibly as part of the first actions of a new eco committee in September. It helps to promote whole school awareness on top of that as well. Now, the format that the eco code can take is quite broad. Some schools use just images, some use just a series of rules. This school actually has combined a couple of different types with catchy slogans incorporated with images to help deliver messages according to sort of particular guidelines they wanted to enforce in the school. So any one of those is an option. Acrostic poems are quite common, in this case to the word environment, but in other schools they've done it with the school's name or keywords or slogans. The Eco Code, it can be devised by the committee, but it's important that they've played a role in it. But often it comes down as a result of a whole school competition or a whole school piece of homework for people to bring in ideas, and maybe it's the Eco Committee that have chosen to pick ideas apart and come up with the final version. With these last three elements, the 7-step process is now in place. If you get these up and running in your school, you should be well on your way to achieving your first flag or renewing it or maintaining platinum status, depending on where you are. Eco Schools are now over 20 years old in Wales, and we obviously with our schools on various stages, but the process remains the same at whichever part, wherever you are on the Eco Schools programme. Again, all the resources that I've mentioned in this presentation or in the previous two, they are found on our website at keepwalestidy.org/eco-schools/resources. If you have any questions, then, and you're viewing this on YouTube, then do drop them in the comments box below. If you would like more information about opportunities in your area, then if you send an email to the email address on screen, which is eco-schools@keepwalestidy.org. There, that could be redirected to your regional eco-schools officer, who will be able to give you more information that is more specific to yourselves. And as mentioned earlier in this session, if you do have a Twitter account, then please share your successes and add in our name, the @EcoSchoolsWales account, and we will be retweeting it to our 7,000 plus followers. Really hope that this short series has been useful to you. If you do have any questions or have any requests for certain types of support that you'd like to see developed in the future, then please let us know. And thank you very much for watching.